Do you remember your innocence? A time before you knew the feeling of grief from losing a loved one? I want to tell you about the worst grief I ever felt. It wasn't my dad. It wasn't my dog. It was someone I didn't even know. I knew her parents. No parent should lose a child. And that's exactly what might happen if we allow the dairy industry to make the changes that they're requesting of the FDA. In 2006, I had to go to a funeral every other month. And to this day, it was 2.5-year-old Janelle that pains me the most. At the service, I listened to what everyone had to say, and I jotted down some notes, and I wrote a poem for Janelle. 3 years later, when my own dad died, my mom, who also didn't know Janelle, brought up that poem. Moms, what they do is they say, drink your milk. It's supposed to be wholesome and healthy. But because of the obesity epidemic and the changes in our school lunches, the dairy industry wants to change the labeling for chocolate milk and remove the sugar and add aspartame, a chemical known to cause brain tumors in test rats. A chemical that 75% of the complaints to the FDA come from using aspartame in our foods, ingesting a poison, and we want to give it to developing minds, growing bodies, children in our school lunches. Now, aspartame's been around a long time, and we think it's safe because why else would the FDA approve it?
Since the FDA approved it back in 1981, it has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. What most consumers don't know is that aspartame's approval was one of the most contested in FDA history. Consumers have reported more than 7,000 adverse reactions to the FDA, ranging from dizziness to headaches to seizures.
It's because of corruption and greed.
According to the FDA themselves, Searle, in making their presentation to the FDA, had willfully misrepresented the facts and had withheld some of the facts that they knew would possibly jeopardize the approval of the product.
Former Senator Howard Metzenbaum's staff investigated the aspartame approval process.
Their research was so flawed that the FDA actually sent the case to the U.S. Attorney General. The U.S. Attorney General was supposed to file indictments against the researchers and the company responsible for this. However, the person in charge, he sat on it. He waited until the statute of limitations expired.
Samuel Skinner, the U.S. attorney who led the grand jury probe, withdrew from the case while he was in job discussions with Searle's Chicago law firm, Sidley & Austin, a job that he later accepted.
That's exactly what's happened with our financial industry and why we had this huge collapse. Our wolves are guarding the hen house.
The ingestion of the widely used artificial sweetener called aspartame, better known as NutraSweet or Equal, may just be responsible for what the authors say is a dramatic increase in the number of people who develop brain tumors. Consumer advocates and researchers have become more vocal about what they say may be aspartame's adverse effects. They are asking the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, to take another hard look at aspartame.
We're talking about a compound that millions of people are consuming on a regular basis. Children are a particular concern, and of course pregnant women are of special concern.
Dr. Deborah Davis is a leading epidemiologist who serves on the faculty of the Strang Cornell Cancer Prevention Center. She's published widely on the environmental causes of brain cancer. Is brain cancer mortality increasing in industrial countries?
Without any question it is.
Why?
We don't know why. I mean, that's the thing that we've been very concerned about. There are multiple factors we have to look at, but one of them may be, for some people, increased consumption of aspartame.
Better known by its brand names NutraSweet or Equal, aspartame is the most popular sugar substitute in the world. Since the FDA approved it back in 1981, it has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. What most consumers don't know is that aspartame's approval was one of the most contested in FDA history. Consumers have reported more than 7,000 adverse reactions to the FDA, ranging from dizziness to headaches to seizures.
Tuesday's Trib, front page about milk labeling laws. This contentious debate isn't about me and trying to convince all of you to be healthier. I don't have kids. I don't even plan on being around in 30 years. But I care about the kids that I don't even know. So what I'm asking of you is to go onto regulations.gov, search the name and number FDA 2009, page 0147, and I've got a few of these cards, if you could pass those down, and let them know that we don't want poison in our children's foods. We don't know what will happen to these young children, but we do know that it causes brain tumors in rats and numerous, more than any other side effects than food and drugs that we currently have. 75% of the complaints to the FDA are about aspartame. And what happened 30 years ago could be twice as bad a year from now.